What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Wins and Losses. This is episode 4. I mean, man, we're really getting through these episodes. I'm excited. But we are back for another episode of Talking Sports. This one's going to be a little bit more close to home for us. You know, Denver, we're in Grand Junction, Colorado, obviously, but, you know, Denver sports, they're just at another level right now in all aspects. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, they're doing their thing. But yeah, that's what we're going to start the show off with. But before we do so, let's just introduce ourselves once again for the people who are tuning in for the first time. I'll start it off. I am Titus Cleveland.
I'm Marj Tobin.
I'm Jeff Hinkle.
Jackson Cowen.
There you go. That is the crew, and this is what we do. And I am excited. Let's get straight to it, man. Denver sports, they are playing out of their minds. The Avs, the Broncos, the Nuggets. Who wants to take first shots at whatever team right now?
I'll go first just quick to kind of open it up and want to say that not including baseball this season, like 2025, 2026, Denver sports are 15-0-2 at home. Those two losses were after regulation by the Avs. So just a great time if you live in Denver or near Denver, go to a sporting event because there's a pretty good chance that they're going to win no matter who you go see. And also I saw it on something online. It was on Instagram. I can't remember who posted it. I wish I did, but basically they were saying exactly what we're going to kind of talk about, how the Broncos, they're first tied for the best record in the NFL. The Avs are first in the NHL. The Nuggets are third in the West, and the Rockies won't lose a game for like 4 months. So they're going to go undefeated over the next
We're saved
months.
from the Rockies losing 115 games like they always do.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I got the idea from. I know kind of threw it out there in the chat earlier today, but yeah, so some good times in Denver here.
I like it. And let's start off with the Broncos since it is Sunday football. Like you said, Jackson, top of the league, 8-2, tied with the Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts. However, there are a lot of people who feel like the Broncos are just skating by.
The Broncos are fourth quarter merchants, and I don't think there's anything that backs me up statistically more than like the last 5 weeks. They've won all of their games in the fourth quarter. If you take the fourth quarter out of like their last 6 games, the Broncos record is not what it is right now. Like it gives you, it's like a roller coaster, right? You go into the fourth quarter and like, okay, the Broncos are down 32 points to the Giants. There's no way they can come back, right? And then they come back and they win it, and it's exciting for sure. But I wouldn't say the Broncos are a juggernaut. I wouldn't say they are the true number one team in the NFL because they've only lost 2 games all year.
Well, you also mentioned before we got on this show that there's really no true number one team that's going to be running away with it. So if I'm the Broncos and I'm at the top of the league, 8-2, I don't care how I got there, I'm there.
Sure,
okay?
but if you put up
hold on. Let me get my point. Jesus, man, let me get my point. Sorry. But like I was saying, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And have the Broncos played offense? Have they played great from the first 3 quarters? No. But they turn it up when, you know, they need him to show up. And Bo Nix is a sophomore, and he's doing this as a sophomore. You know, I have an issue with sports fans, sports personalities. Why can't we just appreciate the success of said team, of said player? Why do we have to find a chink in the armor to discredit a player or a team when they're at the top of their game?
I'm not gonna say that their offense has been grinding on all gears the last couple of weeks. The Broncos' defense is probably the best defense in the league, even without Pat Surtain. They are a really, really good defense, but to only put up 10 points against the Raiders on Thursday night.
You had a bad game. You just wasn't hitting it, all right?
And to be down 30 points to the Giants with a rookie quarterback leading their offense, to be down 30 points to that team.
They weren't down 30. They were down, I think it was like 19. And they were down. I think there was a 19-point comeback. The Giants did score 32 in the game, but they were never down 30 points. But yeah, your point still stands that they were down 19 going into the fourth quarter.
And like this kind of like the old saying is like defense wins championships, right? So we could be going back to the Orange Crush era of Broncos football, and the defense could carry them to a Super Bowl. But if the offense is going to be like dink and dunk little screen passes, nothing more than 2 yards down the field. Is that, I mean, we talked about it earlier, is that offense sustainable? Or are people going to finally be like, hey, Sean Payton, you can't throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field. We're going to, defend against that screen pass.
I'm more of the believer. It's not how you get it done. I mean, it's not how you get it done. It's if you get it done, or when you get it done, however you want to say it. Like, it may not be pretty, it may not be beautiful, it may not be glamorous, but a win's a win. And in football, you take it week by week. And the Broncos have done it 7 straight weeks consecutively, coming out on top in a win. And you know this in football, especially when you get into the playoffs. You just got to get one win to keep advancing. And an injury can happen, something can happen. Like I said, say if the Broncos do go to the Super Bowl and they miraculously win it, I already know the narrative that's going to be said. The defense got you that championship. Bo Nix is a subpar quarterback. I'm like, no. If he puts up 24, 28 points in a Super Bowl, he put up 28 points in the Super Bowl. Yeah. That's impressive.
And don't get me wrong, like the Seattle Seahawks won their Super Bowl with the Legion of Boom defense, and they have a nickname for that defense. When your defense has a nickname, you know that's a good defense, right?
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and say that the Broncos aren't having a good season, because they are statistically on record. Mm-hmm. They have only lost 2 games.
Right.
Their offense needs to pick it up. Their offense needs to get better, and they need to not be trailing in the fourth quarter to then come back and win games. Because in the playoffs, when you're playing actual teams that can form a consistent offense,
right,
you're not gonna.
You can't keep up.
You can't keep up.
Right, and I 100%. You have a good point, but also I don't want to just put all the blame on Bo Nix, who again is a sophomore. He's taking direction from who? Sean Payton. So I think he should take some blame as well. Fix that offensive, them play calls, because Bo Nix is doing what he can do. Like we were talking about it before the show, like you get the play call, and after a certain point, that audio goes out, and he has to make something on the fly. So I'm still riding Bo Nix. I'm still loving the Broncos, even though I'm a Eagles fan. What's going on, Eagles? What up, Jalen Hurts? I'm an Eagles fan. As of right now, keep it going. You win a Super Bowl, I'll definitely keep rooting for you guys. But I love the Broncos right now. I love what I'm seeing, man. I'm never going to be one of those guys that's just going to find a reason to discredit what a successful team is doing in that year.
Sure.
I think that a fourth quarter team is like a really, really great thing. If they can come back in the fourth quarter, if you have enough motive to keep going in the fourth quarter like that, to fight back, not just accept your defeat, I think that's huge, and that'll take them far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to second that. I love the character they've shown. I do agree with Jeff's point, though. Like, when you get to the playoffs, you can't necessarily rely on scoring 30 points in a quarter, in any quarter, and so I think that they have to be a little bit better. At the same time, though, they're 8-2, and I think Bo Nix said it this week. They could be 6-4. But they could also kind of be 10-0. Like, they only lost their 2 games by 4 points total. So it's not like they're getting blown out when they play bad. They're right in it each and every week. Their defense has like 45 sacks on the season. Let's see. I think I had it somewhere or not, but that's all right. And they have 2 guys who are, top 5 in sacks on the season. Yep. So the defense, I think, is going to show up. They have way more sacks than anyone else in the NFL. I think like 10 to 15 more than the next team. So the defense is playing well, and like we said, even without Pat Surtain, they're showing up. And I think the offense, it's weird to me that you could put up 44 against the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Not that they're the best defensive team, but the fact that you can go out and score 44, and then a couple weeks later, the Texans have a good defense. I'm not taking anything away from them, but put up like not even 20 against the Texans, and then 10 in a very, very ugly game against the Raiders. So it's a little odd to me that you have these 2 ends of the spectrum where you have the Giants, you're scoring 33 in the fourth quarter. You have the Raiders, you're scoring 10 in the whole game. So I don't know. I think they need to clean it up a little bit, but I like this. I mean, they're the best. They have the best record in the NFL.
There you go.
They are tied for the best record in the NFL. They don't have the best record in the NFL. The best record in the NFL is also the Indianapolis Colts.
True. You're right.
And they came out of nowhere.
Right.
That was just nobody ever, like I'll eat my crow. To start the season, I go, the Indianapolis Colts have Daniel Jones playing at quarterback. Are you kidding me? And now they have Daniel Jones, but they've also got Jonathan Taylor. They've also got Tyler Warren, who came out of nowhere to be a top-end tight end for them. But going back to Denver sports in general, I don't think there's been this much hype around the Denver Broncos since Tebow Mania. Like, since Tim Tebow came in and started playing for the Broncos, I think, we're finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, like, hey, the Broncos can be competitive, right? They won Super Bowl 50 with Peyton Manning, the sheriff's last ride, whatever. But Tebow coming in, that Heisman Award winner, the top, what most people think like one of the best college players of all time, coming into Denver and basically turning that organization around from where they were. I don't think there's been this much hype since Tebow Mania.
I mean, I love it. You know, like I said, I'm rooting for all Denver teams, especially this Avalanche team, man. Like they're looking for redemption from last year. Came up short against the Dallas Stars, and you know they're off to a good start. Jackson, you are our hockey analyst per se. I'm gonna let you go and take this one. What have you seen from the Avalanche that make you believe like they can go all the way this year?
Yeah, I think analyst might be a bit of a stretch.
I mean, I'll say our hockey guy. Or
I appreciate the word. You know, it's very nice. Makes me sound more smarter than I am. So I appreciate that. I think what I like about the Avalanche is similar to the Nuggets. You have an MVP candidate, Nathan MacKinnon. He's one of, if not the best players in the NHL, leading the NHL in points second in the NHL in points right now. So that's super exciting. Their style of play is also, just as a fan, super fun. They play fast. Not super physical, but they play fast. They score a lot of goals, and so I think that's something that's really exciting. Unfortunately, Titus, you alluded to it. They lost to the Dallas Stars and Mikko Rantanen, who they traded away last year. Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal if you're an Avs fan. But I think another positive is Marty Natchez has come in. He was a part of that trade. He's looked really good. He's third on the team in points, so that's exciting. And then you have Cale Makar. You have the best defenseman in the entire NHL. So you have a really good a player in Nathan MacKinnon, one of the best in the NHL. Cale Makar is top 5 as well, in my opinion. He's the best defenseman, hands down. And then you've gotten decent goaltending this season. And like I said at the beginning, they've been really good at home. So if you're going to Ball Arena, you're going to have a time. So I think those are the things that I like most, is that you have right now you have solid goaltending. You have a phenomenal forward. And you have a phenomenal defenseman. When you have that, I think you can always contend. And they got Gabe Landeskog back, their captain, which is huge as well, after several years of not playing hockey. So that's, I think, just a lot of positives for this Avs team.
But can they get it done in the playoffs? That's
question.
the question. Every single year, the Avs are in the playoff hunt. They make the playoffs, and then it's like a first or second round exit. Playoffs are different than the regular season in every single sport, right? You have to win, and if you get on a cold streak in the playoffs, your season's done, right? So the way the Avs work is they play fast, they play, semi-physical hockey. But is that, again, I'll go back to my Broncos comparison, is that sustainable? Can they keep doing that throughout a playoff run? And they did win a Stanley Cup in 2023. So it's very recent history that the Avs were champions. So that the building blocks for that team are still there. The mindset going into every single game is still, we gotta put pucks on net, and we gotta get pucks, bulls in the twine in the back, right? So I think, the Avs are a wild card for me right now. It's still early season, but like you said, the Avs are looking good.
Yeah, I'm loving what I see, and I think the biggest thing is you want to win the Central, because if you can play one of the wild card teams instead of playing Dallas, that'd be huge. That's. To me, the only teams that I'm really worried about is like Vegas looks really good, which they wouldn't play until the Western Conference Final, most likely. And then Edmonton, you have Connor McDavid. I think the Avs could easily go back to the Cup Final. I thought that last year, and then they lost in Game 7. Look, that's the way it goes sometimes in sports, right? You lose they lost in the second round, but it was to a really good Dallas team. So I don't think we should take too much away from them. But I think they're a better team this year as we stand right now. So we'll see.
And Jax, I'm just going to refer to you real quick, just to correct me if I'm wrong. It was Mikko Rantanen who was traded to the Dallas Stars, right?
Yeah, he scored a hat trick to beat the Avs.
I think he was, in my eyes, from watching that series, 'cause I watched a couple of games, he was determined to make sure he sent the Avs home. And I think when you have a guy who played with the Avs for quite some time, he knows their system, he knows how they like to play. I can use that as an advantage. So if I'm the Avs, that's the last team I want to see going into the playoffs, or even a second round performance, because you lost last year. I feel like that can get into their heads now. They're going to be overthinking stuff. So if they can avoid Dallas, by all means, I think they have a really good shot. But I just like watching NHL hockey playoffs because the physicality goes to another level. The fans' animosity goes up, and it's just a great environment. I'm trying to get to Ball Arena to catch a game, because that is something that will be a first-time experience for me. Another first-time experience I would love to witness is watching the Denver Nuggets play in the playoffs, because right now the Nuggets are balling. 6-0 at home. Nikola Jokic is playing lights out, averaging a triple-double, 25 points per game, 13 rebounds, 12 assists. The first in assists, third in field goal percentage, third in rebounding. And the guys that they brung back, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway, Jonas Valanciunas. I think those guys are super key pieces for the Nuggets to make it to the finals. And I'm just going to say it. The Nuggets are going to the finals. I'm just going to say it hands down. I think Nikola Jokic hasn't even really exerted that much energy. 100%. I think he hasn't really exerted that much energy in these first 6 games compared to last year when he was playing 49 minutes, exhausting himself. He has the help now, and I think it's going to help him down the stretch into the season. Marj, what are your thoughts, if you have any?
No, I think they're doing amazing.
Okay. Good.
But I'm not very good at predicting basketball in that way. So, I'm not really sure if they're going to make it all the way or not. But I think they're doing great, and I think that's good for them.
Okay. And it's because, he's Nikola, he's asked for help last season, and he was given it. And you got a great head coach in David Adelman who seems like he knows what he's doing. He has the belief in his guys to get the best out of them. When you have that, and I'll be honest, the West, in my eyes, is still shaky. Like OKC, they're doing their things. They're 9-1, but they struggled against the Denver Nuggets last year. And even Lou Dort said it that was the one team that gave him the most fear. Now you gave Jokic some help. I think that's going to be the difference maker. And the Spurs, they're doing their thing, but I don't think Wemby has faced a Jokic in the postseason. That's going to be a different animal for him. So, like I said, I love the Nuggets, what they're doing right now, and I'm dying to get to a game this season.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
No,
go ahead. I think for the Spurs, it's going to be it's their first real playoff run this year, and so I think I'm not super worried about them. But to your point about getting him help, Jamal Murray's averaging over 20 points per game, and Aaron Gordon's averaging over 20 points per game. So now you have 3, including Jokic, averaging 20 points per game. It's like roughly 70 points a game right there, which I think is huge. Cam Johnson, Christian Brown, we kind of talked about his big contract a little bit earlier. They've both been balling out as well, not necessarily as much offensively, but adding some pieces defensively. Jokic not necessarily known as much for his defensive ability. He's still, I think he's a better defender than people give him credit for. But just adding some pieces defensively around him as well. We know Aaron Gordon's a great defender, so I think that can just help bolster this whole Nuggets defense, which has been one of the top 5 best as far as points per game against this season. And I know it's early, but still it's a good sign.
Yeah. And I'll go back on my prediction to start the NBA season. Mm-hmm. The Lakers are also looking really good to start the season. They don't have LeBron back yet either, and they're still looking really good. But Luka has to go, carry the team on his back, much like Nikola Jokic had to do in the past for the Nuggets. Now he has some help with Cam Johnson and Jamal Murray and Christian Brown and all of them. But I just think the Nuggets, kind of the same argument that I had with the Avs. It's like
is there a more negative Denver sports guy?
I seriously,
this is one of the guys I'll talk about.
I
I'm telling you.
Denver sports, I promise. But win a playoff series and then we can talk. But it's the same argument I had with the Avs, right? The Nuggets are great in the regular season. They, Nikola Jokic wins his MVP like he always does, and then they get to the playoffs, and the teams that they play in the playoffs are like, if we stop Nikola Jokic, we stop the Denver Nuggets, right? This year, here's my optimist side coming out.
Okay. They're waiting for
this
it.
year, he has help.
I didn't know he had one of those.
He has Jamal Murray. He has Cam Johnson. He has Christian Brown. He has Aaron Gordon. He has all of these weapons. There are no excuses for the Nuggets to have a first or second round playoff exit this year.
Just to be sure, I don't think they're going to get bounced out in the first, second, or they're going all the way. I think Jokic turns it up on another level in the postseason. He's just one of those guys that, he understands the moment and he gives it his all. And that's the one thing I love about Jokic. He's 7'1", 275 plus pounds, and he's sprinting on both sides of the end, trying to get back, play defense, run the offense.
This man is running like one of his horses.
And it's the only thing this is the part that I'm going to go back to with the whole Broncos not giving credit where credit is due, not appreciating the success that it's shown. Nikola Jokic can ball out all season, and I guarantee you they won't honor him with that 4th MVP.
No, because once you get to 4, then you get in rarefied air with people like Michael Jordan, and then people are gonna say, "Whoa,
I think
whoa,
if he averages a triple double this season, how do you not give it to him?
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
How? He's first in rebounds, first in assists, top 20 in points. If he holds those numbers, even if he's not top 10 in points, how do you not give it to him? Right?
And that's the thing. People are going to make narratives about it as the season goes on. They're going to try to find reasons to discredit his performance, his team's performance, and like I said, I just don't like that side of sports because I like to watch sports and appreciate the greatness of what I'm watching. And Nikola Jokic is that guy. I think he is top 3, top 5 all-time centers in the NBA. So I just love to see. I'd love to see people get credit when they put in the work, and it shows day in and day out. But the Denver Nuggets, they're definitely looking awesome. Top 3 in the Western Conference. But let's transition over to another topic, a more serious topic that took place this past week. Marshawn Keelan, Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle, no longer here with us. And a lot had to deal with, mental health and things that he was dealing with. And the biggest, I guess, narrative from that was having the ability to speak up when you need help or when you're in a tough situation. And as athletes, that's not always the easiest thing to do because you're looked at as the provider for so many people. You're making tens, hundreds of millions of dollars that they don't look at you and see you as a normal human being that has normal flaws, has issues, has problems like everyone else does. And I'm going to go to Marj real quick because you're our athlete here. You experience day in, day out practice, 5 a.m. weights, whatever. And I'm pretty sure you were not always in the best capabilities of going to practice, but you still push through. How important is that as an athlete, being able to just speak up and say, hey, I need a break. I'm not in the right headspace. And how can that affect your play?
Yeah, no, it's so important. And the pressure to perform is also like a massive thing. Like whether you're on the field, you're not, like you're pressured to perform in practice, in the game, all of that. So all that pressure along with everything that you're responsible to do all the time, it is like so much. And not only that, but you're one of all of the other people on your team. So a football team, I'm sure that's like what people on a smaller team are feeling times a million. Like you're one of so many on the team. Like you don't think you're important, especially if you're not out there. And it's just like you start to see the value in yourself of how you play because it's what you're doing every single day and what you're putting out there. So it's definitely something difficult and like they need to speak up for sure, like take the time. But again, that's another thing. Like people view taking time off and things like that as like, oh, that's a weak thing for me to do. Everyone else is probably feeling the same way as me. I just need to keep going out there. So yeah, I think it's important to recognize when you're feeling a certain way, and then everyone has you're given the resources. It's just you don't want to use them. You don't want to be that person that's using them. So
and I just think men in general, like from the day we were able to comprehend a thought, right? It was rub some dirt on it, shake it off. It's fine. All of the men's mental health isn't talked about nearly enough. Like
I agree.
It's seen as a weakness, as a you need help, blah blah blah. There's like a stigma that goes around men getting mental health help, and it's not healthy. Like if you are feeling worthless and if you're feeling like you aren't meant to be here anymore, you need to go see somebody. You need to go have a support system in place. It's not a sign of weakness. That's actually a sign of strength to admit that, hey, something's wrong with me. I got to go figure it out. It's like if I'm playing on a broken ankle and I'm on the field and I can't perform to my best because my ankle is faced the wrong way, like that's not gonna fly. And it matters what's going on physically as well as what's going on in your brain. So it shouldn't be, the stigma should be broken that men can't go get help.
I like that.
Well, bringing up the injuries is a good point as well, because that makes you feel just as or even more isolated from your team when you have that injury, because you're not practicing with them, you're on the sideline, you feel like you're just kind of getting overlooked all the way around, I think. And that was like a huge issue that we saw a lot, like those people with the injuries, and they just feel like guilty about the fact that they can't do everything else that we're doing, like watching athletes do run tests from the sidelines. Like you feel guilty, you try to do what you can, but yeah.
I've never been in that position. Like I played sports and everything, but the higher you go, the more expectations are put on you. And, some of us, like you said, you love the sport so much, you don't want to be taken out from it. So you'll do whatever it is that you got to do to stay in it, whether it's like if I'm got to take pills, if I got to, do this or do that, whatever I got to do, I'm going to stay on the field, not realizing you're only hurting yourself in the long run. Jackson, I'm gonna let you get a word on this one.
Yeah, I think the other thing is just like if one of your friends does come and talk to you and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this, like just listen. None of us have degrees in psychology or anything like that, but just be a friend, hear them out, talk to them if you do happen to know somebody that is a professional that could help them. But like I think part of it is like when you do speak out, not being like ridiculed for it and stuff. So if setting a culture of like, hey, it not only is it okay when somebody does talk about it and say, hey, I need help, the rest of their team is there to pick them up. Listen to them, whatever they need, just be a friend, be a teammate, because that's what sports are all about, is not just, being open for a pass on the field, but also, being open for a pass off the field as well. So I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be there for somebody for all of their wins and all of their losses, right?
I love that. Both how you guys finished that, because that's the main thing. This game, the clock runs out, but at a certain point, your life still goes on. And I think that's the main thing. We're human first. We're people first. Athletes second. Sports personality second. I think that should be the main thing, and keep that the main thing. But man, Marshawn Nealon, rest in peace to his family. To him, wishing everything, nothing but spreading prayers to his family and his loved ones. Like I said, if you are going through something, speak up. It can save you. It can save another person's life. So never stay quiet about that type of stuff. Moving on, we're gonna wrap up our show as always, like we always do, with a win, with the loss. Who wants to take the floor first?
I'll go first.
Oh, Marj going first.
Marj's ready to go.
I'm
She's
switching
ready.
the order today. My loss is the Celtics on Friday. They lost again, but I still am hoping that they're going to turn it around.
Okay,
Hey, wait, it's chill out. I did not notice that. Were you just clapping at my sadness?
Yeah, he was
I'm a Knicks fan.
fired
What are you
up.
talking about?
Like,
I'm a
walks
Knicks
to
fan.
his feet
I'm a
and
Knicks
he's
fan. You
like-
should know that.
Okay,
I'm gonna
well,
make fun
no
of
need to cheer in my face. I'm still holding out hope. I think they have it in them.
Okay.
It'll just take a sec.
I believe.
Thank you.
Yeah. Peyton Pritchard, GOAT.
Oh, absolutely. Pritch, please. Thank you.
I like that. I like that. So what was you said that was your loss, right?
That was my loss.
Okay, so
and
what's
my win was the Patriots winning today. Boston are my wins and losses today.
Patriots doing their thing.
Yeah.
Drake May is
Drake
balling
May.
out.
Oh my
I
gosh.
give you that.
Yeah, he's doing really good.
Mm-hmm.
My
And
biggest
he's kinda
loss.
cute.
My biggest loss for the day is the Bills Mafia, the Buffalo Bills
Yikes.
losing by 20 to the Dolphins. Like, how do you do that? Like, you go and you beat the Chiefs one week, and you go and lose to the Dolphins the next week. Like, I would hate to be in Bills Mafia right now if I was a Bills fan. So that's my biggest loss of the week. Biggest winners, I've got to go home and go to the Los Angeles Lakers. They've looked really, really good to start the NBA season. Those are my biggest winners of the week.
All right, Jackson.
My biggest winner is the Mountain/Pacific time zone for sports on the weekend.
Oh, what?
It is awesome waking up and just turning on the end of college game day most of the time. I'll get to my loser in a second. And just having, like, I wake up at 10 o'clock, college football, let's go. Let's get right into it. And then, like, today, I woke up at, 8, 9, whatever it was. And there's the NFL game because they were playing in Germany. It's like, this is awesome. So the Mountain time zone and the Pacific time zone are electric for the weekend. Granted, at 10 o'clock, there won't be anything left, but it's fine. That's when you tune into a movie or a TV show, something like that. My loser, YouTube TV. Holy cow.
my gosh.
So frustrating. I mentioned College Game Day. I haven't watched College Game Day this week. I haven't watched a college football game in like a month. It feels like this is ridiculous. Let's get ESPN back on YouTube TV. That's my loser of the week, is just the fact that I can't watch college football or college basketball.
I don't think we're getting that back on YouTube TV. I just don't think so.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
it'll
You got to
be there.
believe.
Only
You have
can
to believe.
Cross your fingers. My wins and losses, I'm gonna keep them local. I'm gonna keep them in Denver. The loss, primetime. Deion Sanders, Colorado Buffs, out the bowl. No bowl. How do you say it? They're not getting to the bowl this year.
They're not going to a bowl
They're not
game,
going to
yeah.
a bowl game. They was there last year. Big drop off from last year. Julian Lewis, probably is going to be their guy next year. But I love the one thing I like about it is the way how he approached after the game. He said he's going to get in the room, he's going to be in the study room and just work on his game and get better for next season. He's not going to run away and run to another program. He's going to stay and build it here in Colorado. So I love that from Julian Lewis and Deion Sanders. I know him. He's going to get the best out of him. My winner. I'm going with the Nuggets, man. Nikola Jokic is averaging a triple-double. He looks like he wants another championship. He only has one under his belt. He can go for 2. I think if you get 2, that's really going to put him in another category, another stratosphere as some of like the top 10 greatest players of all time in the NBA. So I'm going with the Nuggets, and let's just hope they keep balling out. They got another game against the Sacramento Kings in a couple of days. I think that's going to be a secure win. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited for Denver sports all around, guys. You know, but that is a wrap on wins and losses, episode 4. I hope you guys had a great time watching this. We had a great time talking and debating a little bit. But yeah, that's a wrap. We'll see you guys next week. You guys have a great time.